So good morning, everyone. It's July 19th, and y'all are ready to, obviously get off to your first demos for the push, and I'm super excited for everyone. I recorded this last night. It is 11:38, and I just finished doing the all-day call day, and so just wanted to make this video for y'all since I wasn't able to make it at the exact time that y'all are going to be seeing this. This is so exciting. And the most important part of obviously doing your demos and making sales is getting recommendations to make sure you finish this push strong. So what I'm going to do is Stacy is going to put in the chat box the link that I'm going to be discussing over today. Please go ahead and open that link right now and follow along as I do this. Because I want you guys to be able to actually use this as a resource and not just like any other Google Doc that you put away after a conference and never look at again. This is something that I want you to go ahead and bookmark as getting recommendations. And since this is something that you should pull up at every demo and have next to it, as long as with your script and your demo and everything. So please go ahead and open that up and let's go ahead and get started. My key topics I'm going to talk about today is memorize the script. If you're having troubles with recommendations, the first thing I'm going to tell you right now is put up a challenge with your boss or with your manager and just go ahead and see, what can you win if you memorize your script? Maybe it's a vegetable peeler, maybe it's a cooler, anything like that. Just get that script memorized. I don't care if you're doing Zoom demos. If you don't have the script memorized, you're going to struggle getting recommendations. And the second thing is ask more than once. So you don't stop at the homemaker whenever they say no. Or I sure hope you don't. So you keep asking for the order all the way down to the buy now bonus. So that's how you should think of recommendations. You ask 10 to 12 times before you accept a no. A lot of people ask me, how do you get so many recommendations? Well, it's because I asked 10 to 12 times after they said no. You don't just stop after the homemaker. You still try to get that buy now bonus. And guess what? That buy now bonus is only one piece of Cutco. Even if you get one recommendations, once you build that habit, it's going to help you continue. Make sure they download the app. I know some representatives who are not downloading the app. Do not be lazy and skip over this part. Make sure you call your manager during this section and help you figure out how to download the app. There is no reason why you shouldn't be downloading this app because that's how you get recommendations and it makes your life so much easier. The three-way text on the demo. Your phone needs to be filled with messages, before you hop off that demo. After your demo, when you're looking at your phone, it should just be filled with three-way text messages. Do not rely on the customer to send them after you're off the demo. After you're off that demo, you're off the hook and you probably won't be able to get that. And then, of course, qualify your recommendations. Quality over quantity. My push last year, I just was getting a ton of recommendations and I was just doing demos to do demos. And as much as y'all all have goals of doing 100 appointments, 80 appointments, 40 appointments this push, I can do that, but they weren't going to be quality people. So make sure you're making sure you're seeing MAC customers and you're asking your customer, are they married? Are they over 30? Do they own a home? Make sure you're asking the right questions. So let's jump right into it. So the phone approach. You need to be planting the seed with your first contact with this customer, making sure you're adding this line. Mrs. Jones, one more thing. As you know, I was recommended to you by blank. So I will be asking at the end of the demo for nice people like you. So if you want to start thinking about anyone who'd be nice enough to also hear my presentation, that would be great. Thank you so much. Off the bat right there, you wait for them to respond. They're automatically going to be like, oh yeah, like absolutely. I'll start thinking about that. No worries. I have, customers who I show up on the demo and they're like, hey, just so you know, I already have 5 people that I already have their names and numbers and they're good to go. You don't even have to do the script. They already have that for you. So I actually went ahead and input my phone approach. So if you're not using it, you should definitely hop onto it. But of course, it's just the normal script. And at the end, I have it included to say that one line. So if you're afraid and you don't know how to add that to your phone script, just borrow mine. It's super easy. Bookmark this phone approach. The second seed is beginning of the demo. So you want to go ahead and plant the seed, on the scholarship page on the slideshow whenever you're talking about yourself and your goals. So you're going to say, also, when I sell enough Cutco, I earned a President's Club letter, which looks great on my resume. It's a hand-signed letter of recommendation from the president and CEO of our company, which will help me a ton in the crazy world we're living in now. Who knows what the job market will look like when I graduate? Mrs. Jones, like I said on the phone, you don't have to get anything. Think of me as selling really expensive Girl Scout cookies today. However, if you see something that you like for yourself or a friend, definitely get it today. I'm basically a walking coupon, like giving gifts, except it's not my money, it's Cutco money. But again, no pressure. I get paid to be here, and each time gets me closer to this All-American scholarship. Now, Mrs. Jones, the scholarship is based solely on sales, but we have this automatic sponsorship that isn't. So really, everyone that I see is at least able to help me out with that. I'll mention it at the end, but because we're part of the direct sales associations, we don't go door to door or call random people or anything like that. So the only way I can continue to do these presentations is through recommendations. In fact, everyone I talk to either already owns Cutco or is a recommendation from a friend. You know, your friend blank is a sponsor, meaning in addition to you, he or she recommended over 10 other of her or his nicest friends. And lastly, my biggest goal today is not to buy a set of knives. This stuff is awesome. You might cook a lot, you might want a set of knives, but that's not my biggest goal. But my goal today is that I do a great job and we have enough fun over the next 30 minutes that you would want to introduce me to all of your friends. So I can get to my goal of blank demos by August 6th. Because again, I only know so many people and a guy probably can't walk around knocking on doors carrying a set of knives, especially right now. Does that sound good? And wait for the response. You don't have to buy anything, but if we have a ton of fun, you might refer to me some people. And also we'll get to that at the end though. Now that's how you start it off. So they already know and they're being prepped. You told them during the phone approach and you telling them right now at the beginning of the demo, you're going to be asking for recommendations. And a lot of this is confidence. If you aren't talking to them with confidence, then they're going to fear that and they're not going to take you seriously. So it comes to the end of the demo and you say, Mrs. Jones, did you enjoy the presentation? You know, did I do okay? Awesome, accept the feedback. Usually they'll say you did great. You're gonna say, great, so I need you to open up that app back up. The company has you rate my presentation. Now it'll just ask a couple questions. Again, they are anonymous, so you can be 100% honest with it. Just wait a second, let them open it up, let them, pull up the app. Sometimes you have to help them find it. And then continue. After that, my bio will pop up. It has a little picture of me, a little bit about me. Do you see it? Again, you're kind of babying them through this process. Don't try to rush through this script because this is very important. This is where it's going to, require a lot of step-by-step action because they're not familiar with this app. So once they say yes, they see your photo, the click, call, share, call, text, share. You're going to say, awesome. So if you want to go ahead and click that share button, and I wait for them to click the share button because they're waiting on your command. And then click OK to share contacts. And your contacts should pull up. Is it showing up for you? Okay, awesome. So here's how you can really help me out. This is my favorite part of the presentation. I get paid each time I show Cutco to someone, but I can only show it to people that I've been personally recommended to. So what I'd love for you to do while I'm wrapping up is just tap on the first, 100 to 200 contacts. I'm just kidding. Just 15 to 20 people that'd be nice enough to take a look at the presentation would be great. In other words, I'm not necessarily looking for people that would buy, just nice people like yourself willing to take a look. This is what I call Mrs. Jones' nice people list. The app actually allows you to send a message to anyone you select, making sure it's okay if I can reach out to them. So you don't have to worry about anyone being called without them knowing. I found in the past that people are very appreciative when they're given a heads up before I call them. So this is really important to me. You also have my Air Force ROTC honor that I will not call or text anyone without their okay. Okay, if you're not taking notes, this is where you should be taking notes. Did you just hear what I just said? You also have my Air Force ROTC honor that I will not call or text anyone without their okay. And you're like, okay, Anna, I'm not going into the military. I'm not an ROTC. Okay, great. I have, you also have my Texas State, academics honor that I will not call or text anyone without their okay. Just put your university, put a club that you're a part of, put something that has core values and just tell them you have that honor and that you will not call or text anyone without their okay. Again, you're going to allow them to start selecting. Once they start selecting the few that mention the sponsorship right afterwards, but just wait around 1 to 2 minutes. They'll start selecting. Don't rush this process. Obviously they've already waited 30 to 45 minutes, maybe even to an hour on your presentation. They have a couple more minutes. And so Then once you wait like 1 to 2 minutes, you're gonna say, just so you know, if you can give me at least 5 recommendations, you become a sponsor. If you give me 10 or more, you become a double sponsor. Once I have 50 sponsors, I get a free piece of Cutco from my manager or a cash bonus to help me pay for my school books. And if you get to 15, you get a free Cutco vegetable peeler. If you're not doing this, this is how I get a ton of my recommendations. I always offer the 15 get vegetable peeler. And if they already automatically give you like 10 to 15, don't just give them the vegetable peeler. Tell them, hey, if you get to 30, I'll give you a vegetable peeler. If they already got to 15, don't hand them candy. And again, you just get it from your manager. I think it's like $6, $7. Just go ahead and ask for your manager for a vegetable peeler. Trust me, if you sell a homemaker just from one of your recommendations, it's all worth it. Or even like a buy 3 get 1 free, you're fine. And then, or just do a scholarship like competition with your manager, and I'm sure he'll get you one. Next, you're gonna say, the way I get credit from the presentation is if you complete it in the app right now. Because sometimes people are like, do you need me to do this right now? And you're like, yeah, right now. So scrolling through, who's the first person you would throw down on the world's nicest people list? And kind of just like wait for their answer. And you're like, there we go. Just encourage them. Like you want to like thank them. You're like, okay, you got it. Who else? Who's one more nice mom that would be the nicest person? And then you say, thank you so much. Who's one more friend? And do you see how I said repeat that last line? You're going to just keep saying that. Thank you so much. Who's one more friend? Thank you so much, Mrs. Jones. Who's one more person? And then if they're like kind of struggling, there's little thought joggers there. What about your mom? What about someone who likes to shop? Who's one person who loves to cook? Who's one person that likes to gossip? Who's one person that goes hunting? Who's one person? And you're just going to say one. That's the key here. One person. Now, I don't know if y'all have heard this, but there's objections. I know, crazy. I don't know, has anyone ever heard of, can I give them to you later? Oh my goodness, I hear this every single time. So I kind of just wrote down exactly what I say. And this is where having the script memorized is so big, because I'm literally just repeating myself. Mrs. Jones, would you like to go ahead and get that today? Mrs. Jones, who's one more person that'd be nice enough to help me out? You're just got to be on top of it. You got to be confident, and you got to keep going and being persistent. If not, you'll be run over, whatever the proper grammar is. So Mrs. Jones says, can I give them to you later, or I'll do it later? Mrs. Jones, you can definitely give them to me later. However, since I already have you on the Zoom, and I'd hate to have to reach out to you later in the week since you're super busy, is there at least one person on your list that would be nice enough to hear my presentation? Just because, like I mentioned before, I can do presentations with people I've been personally recommended to. So I'm trying to complete, of course, 100 demos, or 50 demos by August 6th for my scholarship. So who is one person that is super nice that you see on your list? And then just immediately go to this. Again, they don't have to be anyone you think would buy, just nice people like you willing to hear my presentation. As soon as they give that to you, thank you so much. By the way, if you get 4 more, you become a sponsor. And once I get 50 sponsors, I get a cash bonus to help pay for my school books. So who is one more person that'd be nice to hear my presentation? Do you see how I keep repeating myself? I've already told her these things, but I'm just repeating myself. Mrs. Jones, just a reminder, you have a 2-week trial with your Cutco knives. So you can go ahead and do the first payment today and then try it out for 2 weeks. And if you love it, keep it. If not, return it for a full refund. So is that something you would like to get today? Mrs. Jones, they don't have to buy anything, just be nice people who would be willing to hear my presentation. Thank you so much again. By the way, if you get 4 more, you become a sponsor. And once I get 50 sponsors, I get a cash bonus to help pay for school books. So who is one more person that'd be nice to hear my presentation? You're just consistently just asking the same questions and telling them the exact same thing over and over again. And get this, they still say they want to do it later. My goodness, I've never heard that before. They're going to say, Mrs. Jones, can I be completely honest with you? whenever people say they'll give them to me later, 9 out of 10 times they don't, they usually don't. This isn't because they don't like me or Cutco. Trust me, I'm amazing. You don't have to tell me. It's just that moms get super busy during the week and either completely forget or just lose track of time. Like I mentioned before, I can only do presentations with people I've been personally recommended to, and I'm trying to complete blank demos by August 6th for my scholarship. So who's one person that is super nice that you see on your list? Again, they don't have to be anyone you think would buy, just nice people like you willing to hear my presentation. They give you that one. Thank you so much. By the way, if you get 4 more, you become a sponsor. And once I get 50 sponsors, I get a cash bonus to help pay for my school books. So who's one more person that would be nice enough to hear my presentation? Do you see how I keep asking? Mrs. Jones, would you like to go ahead and get that set today? Mrs. Jones, would you like to go ahead and get that? How does that sound? Does that sound better for you? Like, you're consistently asking when you drop down from the homemaker to the buy now bonus. So consistently drop down with getting recommendations. A lot of people tell me, yeah, well, they said they didn't want to give me it or they want to give it to me later. I'm like, okay, so then what'd you do afterwards? Well, I just ended the Zoom call. Like, what? No, like you need to keep asking. This isn't just going to be handed to you. Sometimes people will be awesome and just select 20, 30 just because they're just really nice people. But other times people are stubborn and you really need to get it out of them. Again, if they don't want to download the app, Mrs. Jones, I completely understand. However, this app allows me to get credit for my scholarship and you can delete it right afterwards. I promise it's 100% safe, actually safer than a third party in the app store, since only people with the link can use it. This way I can get credit for doing presentations and send feedback, and it really helps me get better at the job. There's really no reason why they shouldn't download the app. I mean, just say it's for a scholarship. Just say this is how you get credit for your scholarship. If they don't, I've never had an issue with that. And if not, you're not doing enough demos. If you say you get that all the time, I have people that are like, oh, well, they never want to download the app. I'm like, oh, really? How many demos did you do? Well, I did like 3 or 2. And I'm like, okay, great. Well, I just did 20. Yeah, I had 2 or 3 people say that to me, but that doesn't mean the other 17 people did it. And I still got, 5, 10, 15, 20 recommendations from all those other people. So it didn't even matter if 2 or 3 people said no. Don't base a job off of 1 or 2 or 3 demos that you do. Continue to keep doing demos. Don't let this job discourage you just because one person ruined, this one opportunity for you to get recommendations. Now, if they say I want to give them a heads up, ask them first. Doesn't feel comfortable. I completely understand. Definitely. I actually love that you want to give them a heads up, because we do ask that you send them a heads up text. That way it's a lot more comfortable. There's actually a way to do this right in the app, and you'll be able to text them first asking if it's okay. And then again, just go right back into asking them. And by the way, like I mentioned before, I can only do presentations with people I've been personally recommended to. And I'm trying to complete blank demos by August 6th for my scholarship. So who is one person that is super nice that you see on your list? Again, I'm not purposely trying to talk fast. I'm just telling you, like, I know exactly what to say. I'm just literally from here down, I'm literally repeating. I'm just repeating back and forth, back and forth. That's all that matters. You're just consistently asking for the order. At one point, they're going to be like, okay, select one. And then once you get one, you got the rest. Like, it's easy from there. Now, after they finish picking their names out, or if they say they want to ask people first, or just continuing through here, you're going to say, thank you so much. The red is what you need to emphasize on. If you don't mind me asking, before clicking the share button, what number shows up at the bottom where it says share? They'll say 1, 2, 3, or they say 7, 8, whatever number they say. Let's say, for example, they say 3. You're going to say, thank you so much for selecting 3 people. By the way, if you get to 5 recommendations, you become a sponsor. So who are 2 more people you would think would be nice enough to hear my presentation? And once they select 2 more, you're going to say, thank you so much. By the way, if you get to 10, you become a double sponsor. And I get a cash bonus to help pay for my school books once I get to 50 sponsors. So who are 5 more people that'd be nice enough to help me out? Let's say, for example, they get to 7. They're like, okay, Anna, I only know 2 more people. Thank you so much. You're only 3 away, Mrs. Jones, from getting to become a double sponsor. So who are 3 more people that'd be nice enough to hear my presentation? I'm literally just repeating the same thing I've already been telling them. They already knew they could become a sponsor if they got to 10, but you need to keep repeating it. Mrs. Jones, if you out of these 5 knives, which one knife can you live without? Okay, they take one out. Buy 3, get 1 free. You ask again. The buy two special, get a free gadget. You ask again. The buy now bonus, you ask again. You literally ask so many times for the order. Why do you give up on asking for recommendations after 1 or 2 times of being rejected? If you've already been rejected so many times by going down the homemaker, why does one little no fear you in the recommendation section? You need to pop that fear bubble. If you're going to continue living in a little cloud in your head that you can never get recommendations, then you will never get recommendations. You need to seriously start asking your customers more than once for recommendations. This is like the 3rd time I've given this talk, and that's completely fine. Obviously there's going to be new people on here, but you need to understand that if you're not asking more than once, if you don't have your script memorized, then you're not going to get any recommendations. This seems to be like second nature. You need to be practicing this on your way to your demos. You need to be practicing this whenever you have like a 30-minute break, or if your demo cancels, like book some demos and memorize your script. That's what you need to be working on. Now, after prying out all the recommendations you can get from them, even if you get to 1 and you usually get 0, I just want to like high five you. I don't mean to come off aggressive. I'm just being completely honest with you. You want to get them to send a 3-way text message on the demo. So again, you're going to say thank you again. After you click the share button on the bottom, you click the view shared button on the top right corner. It brings you a list of all the people you shared. On the right side of each name, there is an introduce button. When you click that, there's a button that says copy to SMS, and it brings up there a 3-way group chat with a pre-made message. You're more than welcome to add your own little bit to the message. I know a few of my past customers will add my school and how they know me. Then whenever you're ready, you can click send, and it will put us in a 3-way text. That way, as soon as if they say like yes or no, I will know at the same time as you. So you don't have to worry about reaching back out to me if they said yes or no, because I will know at the same time as you. Also, that way, if they're not interested at all, they can say so in the chat, and I'll just cross them off the list and I won't contact them again. Again, you have my Air Force ROTC honor. Again, you have my, engineering organization A&M honor. Whatever you share in your building rapport, that's what you have on your honor. You have my like business professional, student honor, whatever, just put something as honor. For some reason that just adds a little spice. Again, any school academic thing you're part of, just add honor to the end of it. Now, you just worked super hard to get recommendations, and you're going to be killing it. You're going to be crushing it in the next few demos. You're getting a lot of recommendations. And if y'all remember from above, I want y'all to be doing quality demos, not just quantity. Just because you want to complete 40 demos doesn't mean you should just call the recommendations just without asking them about anything about them. So big thing you need to say is, if you were me and you were in a big contest like I'm in right now, out of the people you sent me, who would be the first 5 you'd want to show? And then how do you know them? What do you like about them? Do they cook? Are they married? Do not take notes in the Vector Impact app. They do not save. At least for me, it hasn't saved. I know a few other representatives in our office, it has not saved. Just write it down on a piece of paper or add it to an Excel sheet and just kind of like write down everything. And then you're gonna say, thanks again, Mrs. Jones. You may end up thinking of some more people in the next few weeks, or you may run into someone who says they want Cutco. Anytime that happens, you can just pop open that app and send me more contacts, and it will sync up automatically and let me know who referred them to me. And by the way, whenever they say, they don't want to download the app, and you say here, like, you can delete it right afterwards if you want, most people forget that the app's even there, which is crazy because now they literally have your contact information as an app. So for any reason they're going through their phone, they're like, what's this? My Cutco rep. They click that. They already have your contact information. This is so bougie. And if later down the road, let's say you run out of recommendations for any particular reason, you can call them and say, hey, Mrs. Jones, by any chance, do you still have that app? Awesome. Can you go ahead and open that up? Great. Well, like I said before, I'm actually starting up a new scholarship competition, and I'm kind of running low on people I can talk to. So I was wondering, is there one more person that you didn't think of before that'd be nice enough to hear my presentation? And voila, they just send you it, make them do the 3-way text message, and you have that automatic connection with their customer. So I know that was a lot all at once, but this is really huge, and I really want y'all to study this and use it on your next demos, even if it sounds like whack and you like went, oh man, that was a mess. As long as you tried, that's all that matters. So just to reiterate, you need to memorize the script. This is what you need to be doing between your demos, on your car rides to demos, or on your way to the office. Show up to the office 5-10 minutes early and practice memorizing the script. Ask more than once. Again, you don't stop at the homemaker. Whenever they say no, you keep asking for the order. So I want you to try to keep asking for recommendations. Make sure they download the app. Don't be lazy. Don't skip over this part. Do the three-way text on the demo. Just because you're running late on a demo doesn't mean you should stop doing these three-way text messages. Just text your next demo and be like, hey, can we start in 5 minutes? There's no reason why they're not available in the next 5 minutes, because they literally slot out an hour of your time. So if you start 5 minutes later with the next appointment, you will be okay, I promise. And then again, qualify recommendations. Don't just do demos to do demos. All right, I know that was a lot, and it's midnight now. So I'm gonna say congratulations, y'all are gonna kill it. Just keep being persistent when it comes to recommendations, and you will never have to worry about ever getting recommendations or having anyone to call, because you're gonna have so many after this push. And I can't wait to see you at the lake.